What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 45 of my Total Warhammer 3 Drycha Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Drycha got herself into yet another battle against the forces of Nagaron, destroying more or less one army and then damaging the other two as they escaped off the map. Unfortunately for them, they are now very much in danger of Drycha simply chasing them down and killing them all. In addition to that, we had a long and fairly difficult battle against the forces of Festus the Leech Lord, who came down to Griffin Wood. Rather than attacking Beckhofen with Isilal the Lost in it, he decided that he would want to try to take out our capital instead. Didn't quite work out for him, but he did provide us enough of a nice battle for me to be thankful for it. Now, in terms of what we gotta do right now, well, there's actually a lot of what we gotta do right now, but let's start by canceling these recruits here for Strasleeth, and we're just gonna use them to quickly kill Mr. Aecold the Black here. And auto-resolve that, and just to make sure that that army doesn't come back. And then what we'll want to do is... actually that's an interesting question. How far can you move, Mr. Strasleeth? Alright, this is what we're gonna do. Enemy killed in battle, yada yada yada. Enemy army receives plague, yeah, well. Inescapable. Attrition when under siege, oh well. Not a big deal. What we're gonna want to do here is move you in such a way that we can swap our units now. Now, we will be a couple units short, as we will be still wanting to recruit those 4 units. However, this way we can have Isilal start moving out this way without having to worry. And then we can simply bring him the rest of these units. Let's take all of you. We will take away all of you, except for you. And then we will simply keep, I guess, 4 bears. Let's go 4 bears. Like so, and then we will replace... Oh, wait. 3 bears? Well, no, 4 bears. We'll simply delete them as needed. I like that. There we are. Alright, an army receives plague from that, but, well, what can you do? Once again, these plagues are all over the place, and oh, you don't actually heal up in our friendly territory? That's a little bit unfortunate. I thought that you would at least heal, but oh well. Let's go take Talibai, we'll heal up there, and then we'll simply have, okay, you can move back into Griffin Wood. We'll simply trade it to the Vamps afterwards. Gotta give them more territory so that Festus can't come down here. Also, you... well, you can't recruit right now because of your March stance. That's fine. Let's also get Mathland, Lord of the Deeps, get a little bit of extra income. Our money is kind of problematic at this point. I do want to get Hook on the Sunderer as well, but all these take 4 turns, so it's not so bad. I'm still gonna keep on waiting on Wisdom of the Eagle Lords, however. A vision of enemy factions kind of worries me, mostly because I don't want Big Bird to know that we exist, if he is still alive down there. But Halt faction is just so incredibly irritating that I'd rather not have to deal with it. Now, quickly, let's take a brief look at diplomacy here, and what I wanted to see was this. So Yvresse and Avalorn may be willing to go into military alliances with us. 10k, that's certainly worthwhile. And the reason we want to do this right now is because we can essentially do this, get 2 more military allies, and then force them into wars. Which would make all of our friendly factions essentially like each other more. And I was planning to declare war on Wintertooth, such that the forces of the Great Orthodoxy like us a little bit more as well. So, time to declare war on Wintertooth. Get everybody else to join us. And we're already fighting Clan Molder and the Ecstatic Legions, so that does nothing. Alright, beautiful. Everybody here will be fighting them now, and you should be a lot happier with us once we start taking out their stuff. Then we're going to move you, Tala, into Fort Ostrosk to occupy it, and we'll be trading it to these guys as well. There we go, settlement receives plague, and I guess we'll build something there just so that it's worth a little bit more in terms of the trade. What we also probably want to do right now is trade them Prague, because we're not using it, it does nothing for us. We can get the non-aggression pact for it, which would give us... what about the military access? That's a little bit steep for now. Let's go for non-aggression pact. I do wish he'd be willing to give us more for Prague, but, you know, oh well. It's fine. Here you go, buddy.
There will be no
And it does still count as a gift. Good, 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 good. There we go. Getting a lot friendlier now, and hopefully he can maintain friendliness with the vamps as well. We just gotta make sure we're all fighting the same factions, which is why we gotta declare war in the right situations. And now, of course, we do have to watch out for Throg, but that was always going to happen, let's face it. How long do you have this plague for? 4 more turns. A while yet. Alrighty, Akiran. Let's take Volksgrad. We need to make sure that we can help Prague out. Don't let these guys lose it. Take this out. Also gotta remove your stuff later on. This looks pretty auto-resolvable to me. Though there would be a full stack at Yetchich as well, which is a potential concern. Now what we could do here is change up some of the units. Well, maybe not change up, but, well, it might be a little bit of a waste, but we could join all these bears into one unit and then simply get more bears in there. Or we could do that after fighting. Oh, this will just straight up kill them. Yeah, I think we have to manually fight this. It's a little bit irritating, but I feel like we'll go from basically no losses to some losses. So yeah, let's just fight this. We don't necessarily care about holding onto this, but I'd rather not move back into Prague right now, and I fear that raising it would move us back there. Let's quickly fight this manually. We'll raise some more units, because once again, I do expect Clan Ferric will attack us, but we can hold this and then start moving outwards, and then giving the territories that we take back to the Great Orthodoxy, and then having them hold it afterwards. Especially since I feel somewhat bad about killing the main Kislev faction, the Ice Court faction, since we use the bears so often, and, you know, they're all about them bears. Let's move you in first. We will move everybody else in after. I always forget that the Manticores don't have Vanguard deployment. It's quite irritating. You guys hide there. I don't care what happens to the bats at all. You guys can all attack at the same time. You guys can wait. You are fragile, but you can hit the enemy units in the back. Group 3, Manticore, Group 2. Bears, I guess you can move in with the spiders afterwards. You know what? And the Manticore. All of you, Group 2. And then you guys can be Group 5. Alright, like so, you go in by yourself, you shouldn't need healing. And doggos, attack that unit of Night Runners, hit them in the back. Bats, kill that unit of Night Runners there. And we're gonna speed this up in a second, you're gonna move in. Alrighty, and okay, we gotta be careful with the doggos. Speed it up, well, keep it at normal speed rather. Let's get some of these effects. I don't care about them wasting their time on the bats. They're all just going to die anyway. And I really don't care about, once again, bat losses. You guys need buffs so we can get a Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, but honestly, this battle will be over any second now. Oh, good job, bats. Nearly there. I'd love to speed it up, but now I'm a little bit concerned about potentially getting more losses than we otherwise would, and I don't want that. Let's get another Flock of Doom where the bats are fighting. They're acting as the Flock of Doom, we might as well support them with another Flock of Doom. And let's send some of these doggos out to actually give chase. I probably could be using the Hurt Bears for the same purpose. And Flock of Doom did not miss, but rather was too far away. Now I think we can speed it up. Bears and spiders, chase, chase, chase. You just need to shatter those units, and there we go. Units shattered, losses minimal, and probably, by and large, confined to the bats. 30 losses, yeah, that's fine. I would have traded all the bats to avoid losses to any units like the bears, anyway. Now, we'll probably take away the items from our lord, mostly because if the enemy is holding back some sort of really strong stacks that it attacks us with next turn, I'd rather not lose any good items for it. Especially as this was originally, once again, going to be a temporary army. But now it is, well, it's serving a purpose. We can't be in two directions at once with, seated. We can't be in two directions at once. Oh, another forbidden rod. We can't be in two directions at once with Tala, is what I was trying to say like 50 times. Alrighty, recruit wild spirits. So, regardless of the fact that the bears are hurt, I think just in case we're safer doing that. And then recruiting a bear. And then you bats can all join one unit, because once again we don't really care about you. And we could get a new bat, or we could get a 5th bear. Bears are probably going to be more valuable to us. Like so. And then we'll see. We could very well get hit by 3 stacks. We don't know. You know what? Maybe we should, just in case... Ooh, let's get another point in Flock of Doom. We're going to need that. Let's get... we should go... Nah. We should go through Wonders of the Forest. We do need the money. Alright, Wonders of the Forest it is. I wanted to get another point in Flock of Doom, but you're gonna be okay for now. Also, you do have Murder of Spites and Ratcatcher and Constructor. You know what, maybe hold on to this stuff for now. Maybe, I'll think about it. If we give you proper items, then maybe you'll be a proper lord. Alrighty, who's up next? Drycha will deal with you in a bit. Akka, what is going on back here? These dwarfs still need to be killed. Ideally, go into ambush stance, rather. And get as close to it as you can. They may be going for Mount Squighorn, but I suppose we could move Arden here to Mount Squighorn. Alright, Arden, get you another one of these, and have you kill this. You're gonna run, hopefully not so close to Karazkarak. Yeah, kill that. Good. I actually don't know why they went there. Huh, weird. Maybe they were chasing something that we didn't see, like another AI. We can't have you siege Karazkarak because you're too weak, but we'll just have you go into march stance back into the Pillars of Grugni, so that you can jump over to Carrick Drawn. Most likely Skag's gonna attack Mount Squighorn, but then he'll be trapped between Akka and between Arden. We'll send Arden to raise, most likely Carrick Drawn, or Occupied, doesn't really matter, and then we'll delete him. Because once again, he's here temporarily. He's here for a good time, not a long time. Durthu, you're up next, my friend. You are going to take Musion. Yeah, we could go straight for Leoness, but I'd rather heal up and then go for Leoness after. Plus, yeah, these guys could attack it if we just straight up raise it. Oh wow, it's a lot of healing. Nice. Can we build anything special here? Nah, just a harbor. Which is fine, because we are building Mathland Lord of the Deeps, or researching, so more money from that. Akka, the temporary Spellweaver, our one and only Spellweaver army. Still not sure whether we should build you out to be an army. The problem is that the traits of these are going to be just absolutely massively inferior. And at the end of the day, as a lord, the Spellweaver is just going to be much, much weaker. I guess you're going to get the cooldown to spells, which is nice. But otherwise, I'm not sure we care that much. Because we could get a tree lord that's just straight up better. I'll think about it. Oh, and then there's no way to remove your glamour from you. Yeah, well, let's go to Bordelot for now. And I think we'll be deleting the Cecilal, because minus 24k per turn is a little bit too steep. Bordelot, are we able to build Bordelot Harbor? No, just a regular haven. Oh, that's disappointing. Maybe we can't build a special harbor at Marienburg either. Oh, and I was excited for that. Oh well. You are gonna go away for now. I guess you could transfer the rest of your troops to Akka here. Go for it. And then we'll delete you. Like so, you can take these, and then away you go. We'll actually probably bring you back at some point. Now, this is also not super useful, but maybe we'll have a quick go at these remnants of battle, and then we'll obviously go forward towards Durthu, and have Durthu's army raise stuff while Akka's army occupies it. Once these guys are done, we will also have to figure out whether we want to send Durthu this way or maybe to Conquata. And there is the option of trying to get Bella the Ball on Durthu, which is a very nice army buff. Certainly something to think about. Anyway, Colas. Ah, yes, Colas. So, I'm wondering here, maybe, and I don't know whether this is a good idea or not. Let me see, wait. Alu and Othiodi, you're gonna move down here, together. I want to see what we're looking at in terms of the Wood Elves. They do have another stack here, but it is absolute trash. See, the thing is, this faction will never get strong. They are able to get to... I mean, I'm kind of tempted to just betray them and kill them right now. Well, betray. It lorefully makes sense. Drycha would hold a grudge and probably kill them all. On top of that, while this pile of Glade Guard is okay, we're probably never going to get too much value out of them, even if they become our friends at some point. And I kind of just don't trust them at our backs either. How do these guys feel about each other? Yeah, they don't like each other either. You know what? Let me think about this for a sec. And you're gonna attack Marienburg, which I guess we don't have to think about, but let's continue the admin, such as it is, and then do it. Dulcith. You, I believe if you move to Black Fang here, yes, you can re-raise new units. So what we'll do is, while this will hurt our veterancy, it's okay, we'll do this. And then we'll do the same thing with you guys. I mean, it's rank 4, it's not a big deal. Like so. Like so. Delete. We'll get a new Manticore, because we did want one. I'm not actually sure we'll be keeping the Great Hawks in this particular army, though we very well may. Spiders out. And... we got the new Hawks, we got the new Manticore, we could just get a new Spider in here. Or we could get more bears and wolves. A little bit of poison can hurt. Alrighty, now, you have one skill point, you have Wonders of the Forest, and I think now... most likely. So charge bonus is not useful for you. Physical resistance, missile resistance, yeah, this is only for Dryads, Treekin, and Treemen. So this does nothing for a wild army. Meaning, we just have to choose what best thing we have for you in particular. Now... Murder of Spites gives poison attacks, which cannot be together with sundering attacks, apparently. So greater aspect of the Birch is out. The other option would be to get physical resistance on you to make you tankier, or get you even more armor. Though at 144 armor, you're already pretty armored up. You know what, I think I'll think about that as well. Let's get you Obscuring Canopy for now, and then we move into Quartermaster and Home Amongst the Boughs as fast as possible. You should be able to auto-resolve this, by the looks of it. And close victory, eh? Is there any armies nearby? Any other armies nearby? One of the problems would be as if there's a full stack. I don't see one, though. There could be one on Gorger Rock, I suppose, but eh. And, oh, I should have given that war banner to somebody, like, say, the Zotes. Let's do that, and then we will... on the one hand, we want 10k. On the other hand, I'd rather heal up here. We get 3k and sack. But I'm not sure whether we can move back in or not. You know what, let's not risk it, just eat it. Screw it. It's not a big enough amount of money for us to care about at this stage. And there we go. Hold Black Fang temporarily, build yourself a nice sacrificial ground there. And we'll replace it with a Waystone after we fight some more here. Lovely. And of course we'll be giving that territory back. Or not back, but to our allies of the Western Provinces. Dada, move out. Akka is recruiting for 2 more turns, although we do want to see about the Glade Captain. I was originally going to give Akka the... oh, Perceptive, not bad. I was going to originally give Akka 2 branch wraiths, but at this point I think maybe not. And the reason for that is, while branch wraiths would be great, I feel like And we're gonna need more of them in other armies, because we're at 9 out of 10. Yeah, it's, we can't. So we'll just put the Glade Captain in there, because the Glade Captains make sense with the War Dancers. And I guess a new Malevolent Treekin, though I suppose we could get a Tree Man as well, though it'll take an extra turn. Not that I think it'll make that much of a difference, but we do want something in this army other than the War Dancers that can fight larger units. And it's not like the cost is all that different. 233, 140 versus... they're cheaper than the War Dancers, both of them. Almost like the game doesn't actually want you to build anything but the various tree spirits. But of course we're doing this for variety and just for fun. I'll think about the next turn. Yeah, alright. Stay as you are. Who's up next? Actually, you know what? You know who's up next? Well, let's do a fight up next. Let's have Dare Talk attack Marienburg, I think. We've had a lot of fights with the Drycha fighting the enemy Dark Elves, so I think now it's time for the Air Force to fly once again. What's your army cost? 6k? Fairly expensive. We could certainly get some stuff here, but considering you already have another caster, I think we're also going to move towards Quartermaster and Home Amongst the Boughs. On the other hand, the Eagles are at rank 4, or 7 rather, not 4, and the same with the Dragons, so if we wanted to, and we could get them fairly considerable buffs via the Forest Roar, but we do have to go fairly deep into one of these useless trees for it. Which is a bit disappointing as well. I really wish that we could have buffed Manticores through the red tree. What's the cost reduction here? It's 9%, plus that 8%. Yeah, fine, let's get Obscuring Canopy, although the ambushes for this army doesn't matter all that much. Let's get Open Branches, and then we can immediately start going into Quartermaster and Home Amongst the Boughs, and then we'll do the red line after. And then all the other lines after as well. Lots to do. You, I think you've got all your spells. No, you do not. I lied. Now you have all your spells and magical reserves, and you are good. Beautiful. Mentor. Mentor would be useless because you're the only hero we'll ever get for this type. The Glade Captains, however, not so much. These will not be forced battles, but we could just get these so that we don't have to see them. We probably also want to get missile resistance, mostly because you're going to be on the Great Eagle soon. And let's get you Foe Seeker. And screw it, just max out and increase mobility. And I know that getting it on both is kind of stupid and pointless, but whatever. Alright, and just to double check, you have the tier 2, which means you have to keep the tier 1. Right. Increased mobility for you, marked by Kurnos, Skinband Captain, Warband of Loic, you have Heir of Kurnos, and you have Foe Seeker. Lovely. And wait. We get any benefit from any of this here? Causes fear for Hawk Riders, we don't have any Hawk Riders. None in this army. So no, we don't. You can now head towards Marienburg. Enjoy. Alrighty, a close defeat apparently, but the game does love to say that these will be close defeats, and somehow I once again continue to doubt it. Alrighty, has it been too long since our Air Force has taken one of these heavily defended Imperial locations? I feel like it's been too long. Here we go, over the walls as usual, and those battlements that the enemy painstakingly built were such a waste of taxpayer money. And the Manticores and the Eagles landing on top of the handgunners on top of the walls and starting to mince them together with their crossbow brothers. And then of course the dragons are going to fly directly over the walls and land below to once again keep attacking crossbows and really anything that's down there. Lovely. And of course, the enemy is not going to stay up on those walls for very long. They will be getting off them, as that is not the place they want to be. But that's just fine. The more they blob up, the more we can rip them apart with our piles of units. I guess this army does function as something of a Death Star, doesn't it? Interestingly, it's probably actually closer in Death Star in Death Star sort of style fighting than Durthu's army, despite the fact that he has piles of treemen and treekin. So this one is probably the most similar to undead sort of style play, especially with all these single entity units that can all be continuously healed and are all standing near each other to both protect each other and to continue taking those heals. Yeah. Alrighty, well, it looks like we've made a little bit of a beachhead. The wall is cleared, and the units that were on this side have been cleared away as well. The gate is also broken through, and Daertok is heading into the settlement. Too bad he can't fly with the rest of his forces, but, well, that's okay. He can watch them, and I'm sure he enjoys doing so. That's right, you heard me. He likes to watch. Otherwise, we've also separated our units of Great Hawks and our Bats, as we like to do, and they're simply attacking and destroying isolated units. They may be frenzied damage dealers, but they're obviously very fragile, so we can't send them in directly to fight on the front lines like our single entities, but they do quite a lot of damage fairly quickly, even if they are vulnerable. So they're quite good at this, as we've already seen. Obviously, as we've used this Air Force several times to decent effect, we've learned and adapted the way that this particular army functions, and the Bats and the Hawks being separate from the rest of the army and killing isolated units, I definitely think is the best way to go. Anyway, speaking of the rest of the army, it is moving deeper into the enemy formation and continues mincing the enemy apart. It does look like the enemy has also moved its lord in there somewhere, but frankly, it's a little bit hard to spot. And well done to the dragon duo, jumping around like doggos. I love that animation. I still really strongly wish that the camera wouldn't jump out up in cities like that. Stop it. I know that it's trying to go over these like little ramps and whatever, but makes it difficult to get good shots of everything that's happening inside the walls. Not a major complaint, however. Alright, Eagles ripping things apart, unfortunately, while the Eagles do good work. Once again, we've decided that they're better at assassinating single targets, while the Manticores and the Dragons are better at destroying piles of units, but the Eagles don't have much in the way of targets in this particular battlefield. Lots and lots of enemy infantry, tons of halberdiers and ranged and stuff like that, but not a lot of single entities. No steam tanks and only one lord, no sorcerers or anything, but oh well, or wizards. Oh well, I suppose that the Eagles can also kill the enemy Reiksguard, and I do believe there's a decent amount of Reiksguard in this army. I want to say at least 4, possibly more. We got 1... Okay, those are mounted yeomen. 1 Reiksguard here, another Reiksguard there, so 2. There's another one there, unless I'm mistaken. No, that's a Knights of the Realm. But that's close enough to Reiksguard so that it makes no difference. And okay, there's another Reiksguard there, and there's another Reiksguard there. So yeah, at least 4 Reiksguard plus Knights of the Realm, plus, as we can see, a ton of halberdiers all over the place. Actually, a pretty good army plus garrison in terms of sheer numbers. Yeah. Not that they have much of a chance against this army, mind you. And there we go, even as they try to run away, they get hit in the back. Look at those furious wings beating them all to death. Glorious. This is their avenue of retreat. And it don't look pretty. Actually, it does look quite pretty, but it don't look pretty for them. And it does look like a decent amount of enemy units do try to come back through the open gate and hit our lord in the back with his 1 pet manticore, apparently. But it's just not good enough, and all those poor infantry units are just getting destroyed. Yeah, good job to the Air Force. You know, interestingly enough, this Air Force turned out to be sort of a specialist siege army, didn't it? Like, we really haven't taken it to too many field battles. I'm not even sure we have taken it to a field battle. I think maybe 1? But generally speaking, it just attacks settlements, which it's really, really adept at doing. But, you know, I do like the idea of having a specialist army specifically for sieges. So well done to the Air Force. Anyway, it looks like most of the enemy infantry down here and below the first wall have been destroyed, but there's plenty more where that came from. Looking like it's going to be a fairly decently long battle. Our Hawks and our Bats are also going to have to take care of some of those towers that the enemy has started to build up. There's 3 on the field right now. Fortunately, they destroy them extraordinarily quickly. A single charge from the blob and that tower is gone, and then we're going to split off and kill the rest of those towers. While the damn you, camera. While the main force continues to fight the Reichsguard and whatnot down here. And there we go. Yeah, there's really not much that the enemy can do in this situation. It is, though, damaging our units. I want to say that we're not unscathed here. Our Lord is down to half HP, and I think both of our dragons were down to half HP as well before, but we have been repeatedly spamming Earthblood and obviously making use of Life Bloom when we cast anything else on them via our Eagle Riding Spellsinger that's been following this blob the entire time. This one, we actually got to be careful about sending her in like that. Fortunately, it does seem that the Reichsguard are going to ignore her in favor of attacking everybody else, and that certainly works for us. Alrighty. Oh, we're actually just going to move past them to try to destroy this barrier and move up here. We could fly over the barrier, but the thing is, our Lord wouldn't be able to. So we're just going to clear the path for him. And it now is time to fight some Knights of the Realm, as well as additional infantry. Where do all these infantry keep coming from? Is that a Great Hawk? What is that? Is that one Great Hawk? I think it is. Trying to join these guys. I guess I got stuck somewhere. I was like, wait, is that part of the map? Do we just have Great Hawks on the map there? Anyway, let's see the balance of power. Oh, it actually still is a fairly decent amount of balance of power for the enemy. About 30%, maybe 25-ish? Somewhere between the two, probably. Let's say 27%. But yeah, they do still have a decent amount of infantry, both up here, and they have returned down there, but that's okay. They still haven't shown any reason for us to think that they are actually a threat to this army. Especially when blobbed up like this. Isolated? Maybe, but not like this. Speaking of isolated, by 2 enemy units of crossbows, they get swarmed by the Great Hawks and by the Bats, and have been pretty much eaten to a man. Very, very nice. And that is all that remains. And now the balance of power continues to shift in our favor. It would be nice if the enemy just straight up charged our Death Star here, but even if they don't, we can slowly start moving towards the main capture point with our Lord. Our flyers may not be able to capture stuff, but our single ground units certainly can. Actually, technically we have 3 ground units while these guys are, while the Glade Captains are still on their Great Stags. And we're drawn near to a capture point. Maybe the enemy will try to hold us off. It's actually probably a good thing for the enemy that they didn't all swarm us with their entire army, for the simple reason that we then would have just cast a Dwellers Below on them and have killed them all with a single spell or 2. So slowly damaging our units like this certainly works. Another Earthblood being cast, as we can see. Dragons and Lords still need that healing, and our Lord is now back up to about 80% HP. The balance of power continues to shift in our favor to about 80-20, and once again in our favor. It looks like our separate units, our Bats and our Hawks, have managed to take care of all those enemy towers that were being very slightly annoying and firing at us, and I do imagine the battle will be ending extremely shortly. Oh, looky, if it isn't another unit of isolated archers. And guess what's gonna happen to them? Alright, well done to the Air Force. And just from behind that building, dropping down, that's a nice shot, dropping down on those archers, they do actually have a unit of halberdiers with them to help them out, but once again, we just have way too many units. When the number of halberdiers is equal to the number of Great Hawks, you're probably not going to stand much of a chance, and just like that, the halberdiers shatter, and whatever other units remain decide that they can fight no longer. It looks like just the Flagellants will be remaining on the field, because of course they're unbreakable. but a bunch of full HP units are running away, and these guys are gonna get ripped apart extremely quickly like this. Our Air Force eats so well, I'm actually surprised that they can still fly. Gotta start getting difficult to lift off the ground. Though I suppose they cover so much ground that it's gotta burn a lot of calories as well, so good job. And there we are, I think that was the last of those units. We're also very close to full HP. We're gonna get a little bit more healing on our single entities. Unfortunately, we can't heal our bats, but that's okay. We can always summon more cave bats wherever we go. And it's one of the reasons I've been keeping them in this army. They actually do fairly well. They're useful against those towers, as we've seen, and even damaged as they are, they do help out by bringing extra numbers to help the Great Hawks, considering those guys are pretty darn fragile. There we go, apparently a close victory, but I'm willing to bet once we see our HP, it's not gonna look it. I guess all the mana that we used to be casting Earthblood throughout the battle dropped it low enough that the game was considering this to be a close victory, but at least in terms of units left and units damaged, I really doubt it. Alright, that went pretty darn well. We certainly achieved what we were seeking to achieve there. We're gonna raise the place because it's a decent amount of money, gives us back a turn, and then we'll go back and reclaim it right after. Oh, and both of our Glade captains now have their great eagles. Lovely. Butcher for Dare Talk for raising multiple settlements. Great. And let's just see here. Wanted to double check. So now that you guys are on your great eagles, well, okay, I guess we still don't get any real uses out of this, though we can get you to cause terror by getting you death from above next turn or next level up. So there's still something worthwhile there. Now you guys are going to be leading the melee unit, so I think we'll actually prioritize Impenetrable Bark and Endurance of the Oak over Oh, actually no, Tempered Rigor is still first. I lied. Yeah, definitely gotta get that melee defense up and running, but then the defensive stats more than Violent Delights. There we go. That's the one that we can avoid for a little bit. Get you Tempered Rigor, my friend, and I guess the other level ups may or may not be important, depending. Dare Talk might get attacked again, but he also might not. Let's just get the other points. And 2 points into Quartermaster already. Very, very nice. You do have to be careful about running out of points, but we should still be more or less okay. It's a lot easier in Beast armies, and this is like a semi-Beast army, so we'll see. We'll see if he has enough afterwards. Now you are out of spells. You're actually out of anything that is useful in terms of points attribution, so we don't actually have to level you anymore. Beautiful. Alrighty, well, let's see what else we have that we can do right now. Colas, I think next episode we're going to have you just straight up attack Orion. Can't do it right now because we're out of time, but certainly something we can achieve. Kill him, destroy the rest of the faction. Makes sense from a loreful perspective, and then take Tobaro, Magritta, Nuka or Nuja, and Bilbali, all of which are ports, and all of which will be giving us a little bit of cash back, so it'll be worthwhile at the end of the day. I've convinced myself. At least, I've convinced myself enough. Anyway, let's see what we've got in terms of building. We did complete buildings last turn, I believe, so we should have at least something buildable now. In Jungles of Qian. Now, we deleted the forest lookouts here for a reason. As to what that reason was, it's the Roots of Gairan that we want. Griffinwood is already building same said roots, but is going to keep the forest lookouts mostly because we need it there. Because that place has gotten attacked a number of times now. Let's get that wine nexus at the Waterfall Palace, and it does look like this place is maxed out now. Yeah. I mean, I guess we want the Canopy of Kish over the Azray Armory, and I suppose we could delete the Deepwood Camp, but then we lose the Waystalker capacity. So I'm not sure about that. The Azray Armory doesn't seem like as big of a deal. We'll take a look at it in a bit. Next up, Talzin, you are good. The Haunted Forest. Ooh, we have a choice to make. Isn't that just great? I guess we could wait for the tier 3 to get the winery up and running. It's not like this place is likely to need to defend itself anytime soon. And we will be building this, and it doesn't cost any growth, so it doesn't matter. I guess we could also start building up the Roots of Gyram, but we're so near to tier 3 that it makes me feel like maybe we want to prioritize the winery instead. Alright, fine. We'll just keep waiting for that then. Val's Anvil, this doesn't cost anything, so keep building it. Avalorn, same, not so same, but still upgrade the growth there. What do we have here? Southern Grey Mountains, Grimhold, you're gonna switch to a Waystone, a Baston Waystone. Although I suppose we could build a sacrificial ground here because you're near... Well, actually, no. I think Gisoro counts as bordering Castle Artois, so not so much. Gisoro Gap, we can't waste any money on you because you don't give us anything. I really don't like how forts don't do anything for the Wood Elves. Like, it should have a basic garrison. Come on. Just knock down the fort, put a forest there, and station some elves there. Being silly game. Alrighty, well with that, unfortunately, we are once more out of time, and I am going to call the episode there. Next time, we will have Drycha kill off the rest of these guys, Malekith's remaining forces here. Don't know how many they have after those are done, but I do imagine us having taken out 5 or 6 armies should weaken the faction considerably, though it does still have a decent amount of balance of power. They do have 26 settlements after all, so they can support quite a bit of armies. And in addition to that, we'll, as I said, go after Orion and hopefully find some dwarfs for Akka to kill, and anybody else that can reach another army, well, we'll try to reach. Anyway, stay tuned for more trees. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.